Coach Robinson, welcome to the Nova Legends podcast. I have Coach Rob Robinson, who recently got appointed head coach of South Lakes girls varsity. Congratulations, Coach, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, exactly.
Positive.
Glad to have you back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, South Lakes is an amazing community, great school, a great tradition on the boys and the girls side. Won a state championship on the girls side, never done so on the boys side. What does it mean to you to be a head coach at your alma mater?
It means a lot. It means a lot to me. It's kind of like full circle, coming back home and being, appointed to a job at our school. The girls' position is a tough position. And of course, I have huge shoes to follow with stilettos, but just us being on the boys' side, coming from the boys' side, being a former player, almost making it. And then our team last year almost making it, the same point. So we're right there on the boys' side. And then the girls being able to, bring home that state championship, with Christy being the lead, going undefeated and winning a state championship is, I'm honored to have that challenge in front of me. To be able, I'm not saying undefeated, so don't, I'm not saying undefeated, just to, be able to compete and being in a position to build a championship team to move forward.
Well, in case people have forgotten, Rob Robinson is one of the greatest power forwards in the history of Northern Virginia. Won a regional championship, I think at least maybe 2 district championships at South Lakes.
Yes.
89 one region, went to state, lost to a very tough Hampton team. Great player, had a great career. Went to Niagara, averaged double figures for 2 years, had a career in Europe, went to multiple countries. So what is your relationship with Christy, Coach Winters, and her husband, Jerome, your high school teammate? Just describe that relationship and what it's like to replace Christy as head coach.
Well, first of all, Christy and I were like brother and sister, like Jerome's like a brother to me. And also both of them are mentors. Christy is my coaching mentor. Jerome is like a player mentor as well. Someone that, we grew up together, playing outside together, and just, his leadership, as our 88 team, we won the districts, and, his mentorship has been great for me, even when I returned back home, and then joining alongside Christy, bringing me on board with the girls and just learning from her, her coaching strategies, her knowledge of the game and her passion and, wanting everyone to be great and do great is, it was contagious. And, it really rubbed off on me. And her coaching style is, we have similar coaching styles and strategies in game. So, it was a lot of similarities and just being, former D1 players and both of us, playing in Europe. So we was able to relate and a lot of issues on the court and, being able to help out the players, the athletes, the student athlete. It was just great. It's a great, moment for me in my life to have both of those, Jerome and also Christy in my life and moving forward with, this coaching and in life as well. So, it's more than just basketball.
Yeah. And so I gave Rob's background, Coach Rob's background. Coach Christy was she won a state championship at South Lakes, I believe, class of 87 or 88, I believe.
Yeah.
87. One of the greatest post players in the history of Northern Virginia, one of the greatest players. Went to University of Maryland, had a great career there. Has a great career in broadcasting, but also has been a head coach at South Lakes for at least 10, 15 years, Coach?
Yeah, I think 16 years, I think.
16
years. 16 years.
Done an amazing job. Jerome Scott, he played at South Lakes as well. He's known for his crossover dribble. Even before Iverson, went to University of Miami, had a great career at University of Miami. Great guy. And Coach and Jerome, you promised me a podcast, so don't welch on me. If you're
Good luck with that, Julian. I've been trying to just talk to him on video.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, have you got a chance to talk to Coach Winters about the team and about the players that you have?
Just briefly, because she's away. She was away, with Jordan, and I just came away on my first trip in a while.
Yeah.
But when I get back, we're going to sit down and talk. But we have been talking throughout the whole process. So she's been, great guidance for me. That's my mom walking in the background.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Ms. Robinson. So do you know the personnel that you have? Have you talked to the girls yet? And what's your first impressions of your team?
Oh, yes, I'm very familiar with the personnel. Like I was the JV coach
Okay.
last year, and I was assistant varsity, the 2 years previous. So I'm very familiar with our personnel and, our returning seniors coming in. I think we have a strong core. I think that we can do well with our core group, our group of seniors, and then our junior group that's coming in, and they'll be great mentors for our younger development players that have been doing well this summer. So I'm very familiar with our core group and the players that's returning. So I look forward to having a very competitive season.
Yeah. So if people would ask you, what is Coach Robinson's coaching philosophy and his style? Well, how would you answer that question?
It's very short. I have it's two things in basketball in my philosophies. One, getting stops. Two, getting baskets. Very simple. And just I have strategies in between to make those, to be successful and execute those coaching philosophies. But me, I'm a defensive minded coach, but I have my mindset on the other end is I'm going to stop you, but you're going to have a difficult time stopping me. And that's what I'm going to teach our players, that whole mindset of just, togetherness, it's just family atmosphere and knowing that you can rely and trust the person next to you and beside you and behind you.
So who are some of your mentors? You played for one of the most legendary coaches in Northern Virginia history, Coach Wendell Bird. You played for Niagara, you played junior college, you played around the world. Who are some of your coaching influences and what have you learned from them?
Well, of course, Coach Bird. I can get back to Coach Bird. Coach Hall. Coach Hall was a great influence.
Gary Hall, coach at Herndon also? Uh-huh.
Yes. Before he went to Herndon, he was my freshman coach at South Lakes, and then he got the job at Herndon after his second year at South Lakes, just so, for clarity here. Yeah. He's been a mentor ever since as well. We've always stayed in contact. Of course, everyone knows about my love and affection for Mr. Kitchen, Reginald Kitchen, may he rest in peace, but he really propelled me to have that, just killer mindset that no one could stop me. He was like my ultimate motivator, going up and teaching me fundamentals. And Irv Green, because it was like they both were kind of co-coaches when I was younger. And I went to Sheridan Junior College as well, out in Wyoming with Todd Hoffman, who's one of the best Midwestern Region 9 junior college coaches ever. And I learned a lot from him. And of course, Jack Armstrong from Niagara University. Yeah. Most of those, like that whole core were mentors for me. And, and my coaching mentor, of course, Christy, and my college teammate, Greg McClare, who was down in Holy Spirit down in Georgia, where I lived at and I coached there, and Victor Alexander. So I have a group of coaches. I have a strong support system with coaches and mentors that I pull away from each one of them to, make my system successful.
Yeah, well, great. Well, as a player, I think it's fair to say you were kind of a late bloomer in that you became a great player, top high school player, but in your early years, you didn't play varsity right away. I don't think you started varsity your sophomore year. And then all of a sudden, by your senior year, you were one of the top players in the state in DC metro area. You were a late bloomer. As a coach, you're probably 5 or 6 years younger than I am. So you're relatively late becoming a varsity coach. Do you feel that the same thing has happened? You're going to be a late bloomer, and you're going to really hit the ground running and ready to go, and really show folks that you were ready all along.
Yes, possibly late bloomer. Maybe trying to stay current and jumping right in, but I don't mind being a late bloomer. Being a late bloomer, it was kind of self-inflicted because when you're, younger, I should have handled my business academically when I was in school, and that was the only thing that held me back. I held myself back.
Gotcha.
But everyone knew who I was and
Right.
everyone knew what I could do, but I just held myself back. So
Yeah.
propelling forward, I was able to catch up when I was in college and then playing basketball overseas, and then really taking that professional knowledge in and working that into my basketball camps and clinics and my training and all the fundamental work that I, give to my community. And all of that knowledge is starting to come out now. And so hopefully, being a late bloomer, that, we can capture a state championship here in the next 3 to 5.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
Exactly. So, my buddy, Russell Payton, he told me how tough you were on the court, shooting them elbows and, and maybe going outside the rule book at times. But you are so well liked in the community. Everyone loves you. They think you're a great guy. They respect your work, the coaching that you do, the clinics, the camps that you do. Why don't you talk a little bit about your camps and your clinics, the things that you've built through the years, and how you've been able to help these kids, reach your goals and be better players?
Well, yes. Well, my camps and clinics started out, of course, with Coach Bird. Coach Bird, is our mentor, my mentor, and he taught me back in 1987 the camp system. He taught me how to work the camp as a coach, and then to a counselor, and then he taught me the business side of it and understanding. It's really a hobby. It's really not a business because you're giving back. And so I fell in love with that, and coming from humble means, you can't really afford to go to all the camps and all of the activities athletically that a lot of other kids are afforded to go to. And so one of my goals in life was to never turn a kid away, never ever make a kid feel like they can't get that experience at a basketball camp or clinic, and also being front and center with professional athletes that can, show them, the way to play, the right way to play. That's why we stick to fundamentals. And that's from Mr. Kitchen saying that once you get the fundamentals, it's like riding a bicycle, and then you just build off the fundamentals and everything after that. So that was my passion ever since I was younger, because I wasn't afforded to go to the camps. Only one camp I went to one camp, and it was Bucknell University. I went to the Bucknell camp, and it was a team camp for South Lakes.
Yeah.
And Coach Bird, he worked it out to where we all could go there, and it was phenomenal. And I fell in love with it. And so since 1997, my program has been active. We've been helping. We've helped hundreds of thousands of kids since 97, just learning, teaching them the fundamentals, camps and clinics. And, that's the way I feel. I feel like, we won't turn a kid away.
Yeah.
And come and get the free work.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for doing that, Coach. And I'm sure you've given, much to these kids. So, it's almost August now, and basketball is a 12-month season. And it's, when you and I played, you played during the season, and then we had pickup, we had maybe summer league and stuff, but there was a lot of off season. Now, the kids play pretty much all year round. Is it tougher for you that you're starting late in the summer, or do you feel like there's plenty of time to get your program and underway and things are fine?
Well, it's the right time because I know that our players have been playing. They've been playing with their respective AAU groups and travel teams. So everyone's been putting in a lot of work, even coming and training with me on the off season, getting into work, getting into shooting. So we're a little late, but we're not behind.
Yeah.
So, we'll get right back into it next week. We'll get into, the goal is to run a college pro style system.
Yeah.
So we're going to get after it. We're going to really get after it. We're going to get to work. We have our Green Day trainings and all that. That'll be starting here soon. Some schools have already started with that, but I'm hoping that when we all get together from all the work that all of our players have put in this summer with their respective AAU teams, that, we won't be behind, that we'll just jump right in because we're familiar with our system.
And because you were JV coach, you probably know most of the kids on the team already. Is that
Yes,
correct? Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, from freshmen, all 45.
Okay,
So
great.
I'm familiar with everyone and everyone's familiar with me. And plus doing the basketball camps at South Lakes as well. So the players come in and they work and, we can interact and, they can get some work in and I can suggest some workouts for them and hopefully they'll go do them on their free time. But we're going to go old school. We're going to bring it back. We're going to add a little 80s flair to it to where, you got to get outside on the playground a little bit and, get your feet wet, get your feet dirty. So we're going to bring it out. We're going to bring it out of us. We're going to bring that wrestling culture back and, from South Lakes in that championship attitude.
Are they going to shoot some elbows like Coach Robinson?
We don't shoot elbows. Never shoot elbows. The players run into the elbows. You just got to put them in the right place.
Yeah.
And Russ, my man, so he knows,
Exactly. So
we bend, we don't break.
We don't break. Okay. They may break though. So have you talked to Coach Desmond? Now, one thing I've realized since I've been doing this podcast is that things work better if the boys and the girls programs work seamlessly because you're always sharing gym space and stuff. Have we talked to Coach Mike since you've been appointed?
Just briefly, we've spoken briefly. When I return, we're going to sit down and map out a plan. But yes, we're going to be one unit. The boys and the girls, we will work together, and we'll be back. We'll be back 100% at South Lakes Seahawks unity, one mob.
Yeah, and also Coach, athletic director Dave Dugan, and I love your principal, Kim. She's amazing.
Yes.
Have you talked to them since you've been appointed, or I'm probably sure you have.
Yes, just briefly. We are. My trip was planned like a year ago, so we had to follow through with the trip here. But we're communicating via phone, texting, emails, and everything. Just so as soon as I return, off and running. So yes, I have communicated with them, and Kim and I, we graduated together. Also, we're the famous
Kim
class.
She's awesome.
Yes, the famous class of 1989, the best high school class in American history. For your knowledge.
Yeah, they're great. And I love the way you guys stay together all these years, and you guys are still loyal to your school and to your community. But look, Coach, thanks for doing this. I know you were busy today, but you made time for me. But everyone's really excited for this opportunity. I think you have a lot of fans that are invested in your success, and we all know you're going to do great. So I just wanted to, congratulate you and let you know that we're all behind you.
Thanks a lot, Julian, for having me on the Nova Legends. And, we look forward to seeing you all come in the gym. And, we welcome corrective criticism also, because we want to build a championship program, both boys and girls. And the Seahawks coming.
That's
Seahawks.
Right. They never went anywhere. Seahawks are always coming.
We always there, it's like a mob.
It's right. Yeah. The guys from Robinson, we're tired of hearing about the Seahawks. But Coach, I'm very happy for you. I can't wait to see how you'll do. I know you're going to do great.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you having me.
All right, Coach. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.